knees made so much noise. Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. I felt I was inspired yesterday, I should say. Ed Milet had a post and it said something like this: we don't act according to how we feel, I act according to who I am. I thought that was such a brilliant and such deep affirmation. And here's the reason why. When we feel something, it's usually because either we have a negative idea that comes from within or a negative idea that comes from outside. When we fluctuate in our feelings, and this has a lot to do with our physical activity or our workout, when we are allowing something negative either coming from within or without, it puts us on this emotional roller coaster. The consequences of being on an emotional roller coaster are overeating, apathy, not pursuing our workout, or giving up on this lifestyle. Deepak Chopra said this: built within every desire, built within every image, because a desire is something that you don't have but what you would like to have. So your desire is to look a certain way, right? That's an image. Well, when you have this desire to build your body in that image that we talked about in every video, when you have a desire to build that image, that image is called the cybernetic system. It's like a thermostat. You see, the more you focus on that image, the more it sets within you. According to Dr. Lipton, every image, every desire that we have is alive within us, which means every time you make a little deviation from it, right, you're allowing yourself to go on an emotional roller coaster. Somehow that image brings you back, right? It pulls you back in. It says, oh no, I shouldn't be eating this. Oh no, I'm not going to allow so-and-so to tell me something negative, right? So you might go down that emotional roller coaster, but then that image inside of you begins to regulate you and it pulls you out again. Until you do these up and down so many times, that then you understand and you realize there's a pattern built within you of going up and down. And then you pick up on, why is it that I'm going down? And what you're going to find out is that every negative affirmation that you have about you or others have about you, or you have something that is happening outside of you. Every time you have a fear, that fear causes you to go from love, from self-love to fear. And that's that emotional roller coaster, because these are two opposites of each other, love and fear. And so if you're in love, you understand that if I'm in love with this image, I focus more on me. It's all about me. This is self-love, which means I have to protect myself with a shield to the point where even the internal negative self-talk doesn't upset me anymore. The self-destruct is to allow these fears to be internalized, and then they destroy you from the inside out. So if you have negative self-talk about you, that says that your foundation is not strong. That core being, at the core of who you are, which is that image, it's not deeply and clearly set in. When we're talking about the will, we're talking about having the will to build the image and hold on to it. You can only hold on to this inner image through your will. Your will cause outside elements, even internal elements, that will come against this picture, but you protect it with your will. Now, what is the guarantee that this body, this ideal body image that you have built within you, it's going to come to reality or to fruition? It's going to materialize itself. You are going to become and look like this version of you that is inside. You have to understand the laws of the universe, as within, so without. And so you know that very well that when you have a fear inside, it seems as if the whole world is crumbling outside. Why? We're more accustomed to fear, and we see more of the fear coming out and manifesting itself rather than the good. So what's the secret then? The secret to freedom, the secret to overcoming this pattern of going up and down, of being on this emotional roller coaster. Why, you might say, well, why is that important? Well, because you're going to find yourself deviating. You're not going to stick with the lifestyle or this plan or strategy. Deepak Chopra, when he said built within every desire, that means built within every result and outcome that you have, there's also the mechanics or the lifestyle or the plan or the strategy built within it. Every image has built within it the pathway, the way to get you there. And then once you get there, you see this pattern, this strategy that you've built, this routine that you've built is going to persist and be consistently with you. And so when we try to change some habits of not eating something or of not doing something or doing something, we must understand what is going to guide us to that is the strategy. What is going to keep us and maintain us that ideal body image is already this built-in routine that we have been working on all this time. So I hope you understand that everything and everywhere in our lives, when we have a difficult time sticking with a routine, we must understand the truth that built within every outcome, there's also the strategy. So now you might say, well, why is it that some people have to work out 2 hours a day? Some people say, you can only work out 7 minutes a day. The reality is we need to look at science. The science is the effect, but we're the cause. So it's obvious that people have proven, or science has shown, that if a person works out 7 minutes a day, that is enough to take care of everything that we need to take care of. The secret then is not to look at how much effort you put into things, but it's how much of that resistance are you letting go of. We think of doing things by force. When you do things by force, you're causing resistance. So if you're just using your will alone, that's called force. If you're using your will alone to work out, to change your diet, that is not going to last. So what's going to keep you in this lifestyle, this routine? That image. That image. Once you touch that image internally, it has touched you. You're affected by it. But we have the habit of being affected by the outside circumstance. Or you might stand in front of the mirror and look down at yourself and say, wow. And you begin to label every part of your body. You walk away from the mirror and you're demoralized. And who did all of that? You did. Why? Because we compare ourselves. With what? You have a different image in your mind. And it's not yours. Because that ideal image will never judge you. It's someone else's image. And you know what that is? It's a belief. I have to be 6 foot tall and fit into size 2. You see, who has made that decision that is perfection? Some people. Who makes the decision on how you look and how you dress? You make it. Those people had a stronger will than yours. That's the only difference. So how willing are you to create this ideal body image and hold on to it? You see, you have to give up this image or any outside image. And when I say this image, I'm talking about this body that you may not be happy with right now. And you move in the direction and you see that image. Without a vision, you're going to perish. Meaning, you're not going to know why you're waking up and why should you wake up and why should you even work out. You might hear your partner or someone say, you know what, you've been working, you've been at it for so long, I don't see any changes. How do you override that? Because they are only projecting or speaking of your own words. Everybody outside of you is a projection of you. And so you must understand then, wait a minute. If I'm hearing this negativity, it's because I have said that within myself. It's just being echoed on the outside. So what is it that I speak about myself? Internally or externally? As I'm looking at my body. You see, I had an experience where I stood in the middle of the kitchen. I couldn't walk, couldn't speak, couldn't think. And I began to look at my physical body and I was aware of the fact that I couldn't move. And the more I was aware of the fact that I couldn't move, the more I couldn't move. Because as within, so without. But you see, I was taking my cues from what I was seeing. And so we must understand that we need to take our cues from the inside, which means we have to shut off everything from the outside. And I must ask myself, where are these beliefs coming from? These beliefs of comparison. You see, there's no competition in the world. The only competition there is when you go and compete for the lottery. Somebody decided to play this game called lottery, and it attracted so many people to this. But you are your own individual, you play your own game, and if you know how to play the game of life well, you are going to attract to you everything you need. There's no competition. So whatever we hear from the outside, we have attracted it to us. Okay? If it's negative, you've attracted it. Why? Because that's what you hold on to at the core of your being. So how do we change that? We change the core. Self-image, self-body image. The self, you create that image. It has been studied that we are not seeing life through the physical eyes, we're seeing life through the brain. We have certain images in the brain, and then we judge life according to those images. And if we're not seeing ourselves as that image, it could be someone else's. It could be someone else's body. If physically I'm not seeing my body according to that image, that I must not be successful. And the problem is, as long as you see someone else's image, and you look in the mirror and it's a different image, there's a division. You cannot live a life divided. So what's the secret? This is all about you. You create the image, you empower yourself, you get inspired in spirit, in your own energy, in that image. That image is supposed to inspire you. So I don't know if you're like lacking working out, or if you're cutting away from or breaking away from. Built within that image, there's also this lifestyle, this routine. So it has nothing to do with what the guru said, what the fitness instructor said. It has to do with your ideal image. Do you want it? And how bad do you want it? Are you willing? Yes, you are. Are you able? Yes, you are. At the end of the day, we must be satisfied with our body. I know as women, we look at, we're comparing ourselves because the internet is so full right now, right? So many pictures. But the reality is, they're robbing us of the I amness in me, of who I am, right? I don't do things how I feel. I don't act. I don't do this, have this built-in strategy of getting to that ideal body image because of how I feel. The feeling only is activated by the ideas that come in and go out. We fluctuate because we don't have our own rooted ideas. And so we're affected by the outside, negative circumstances or ideas, and then we fluctuate. And when we fluctuate, it's called feeling. I act according to how I feel, not according to who I am. And the I am is that image. So we must get it rooted within us, and we must say, you know what? This is the image. I'm standing on it. There's no comparison. And one of the things and the secrets that I would like for you to use is this. Everywhere you go, you say, this is all about me. Nobody exists. Nobody exists. Nobody exists. Nobody exists. Because nobody does. In your world, nobody does. In your world, you only attract people that are just like you. Whatever we vibrate with mentally, we attract people that vibrate in the same mentality. So understand one thing. Your world is made of people just like you. So if you don't like the reflection that you're seeing, you must change your point of view. And the point of view is this. This is all about me. Nobody exists. If I don't change, these people are not going to change. I teach in my courses that you don't have to tell people off. You just rise into this ideal self-image or self-body image, and the people that are not supposed to be around you, they're going to fall off, right? They're falling off. We have the habit of just telling people off. You don't have to. You rise into that ideal body image. You begin to take care of yourself, and all of a sudden, the people, the naysayer, the negative people are going to just like move away. Why? Because you become someone else, and you attract something else. And if those people don't change, then other people will come that will reflect the change in you. So change begins with me. I am an attracting being. I attract to me that which I am. And you are an image. What's that image? What's that ideal body image? If your partner, if people don't appreciate the way you look right now, you must ask yourself, well, what image am I living by? Because it's obvious the people that are speaking negative, they're not thinking too highly of themselves. So understand they're just a projection of you. They're not thinking highly of themselves. And so they're not better. They're not better. So if two people think the same way, one of them has to change. And who is that person that's going to change? You. Because you have power to change. You have authority over what you allow in your mind to come in or go out. And understand, if you hear that from the outside, you must say, ooh, okay, this is what I've been thinking. This is what I've been thinking. It's a feedback. It's not a put down. It's not shame or guilt. It's a feedback. And you must say, okay, this is a feedback. This is what I've been thinking. This is what I've been thinking. So how do I change my thinking? Right? You begin to change it from that image. You change the image. And one of the secrets of imprinting new beliefs, because as you can see, we're affected by beliefs. We're affected by people's sentences, people's ideas. So an idea such as you've got to be 6 foot tall and size 2. That's an idea. And we're affected. You create your own ideas. Now, John Assaraf said this: in order for us to change our ideas, we must create the image or the desire, write it down in detail, and every single day, read it and put your finger underneath every word and read it, because every word comes with a picture. So as you begin to describe your body, what I would say is just sit there, close your eyes, and then talk about that ideal, fantasizing version of you. Why? Because that's what's going to give you inspiration. You see, not someone else's picture. You see, when I look at someone else's picture and they're better than me, I don't feel inspired. Why? Because inside of me, there's so much negativity. I feel such a big gap between them and me. I feel as if they're so successful. And so we're not supposed to look on the outsiders to seeing people being successful and then, oh yeah, I'm going to be successful, because the reality is we're going to envy. We're going to feel jealous. We're going to feel less worthy of. Because we say, oh, it's outside and it's not here. Yeah, because that's not your mirror. You're taking your own mirror and put it in front of someone else and you want to see yourself. You can't. That's their mirror. And so what's my mirror? So the secret to life is to understand how much of this energy am I going to hold within me instead of dispersing it on the outside and comparing myself. No, this all this energy, and it's so beautiful when you take this energy back and it comes like, just comes in. And all of a sudden you stay quiet with yourself and you have a different tape playing in your mind. This is all about me. I live from inside out. I am stronger on the inside. Now, at first, you're not going to believe this, or you're not going to feel any different. But as you practice it, all of a sudden, this reality becomes so sweet. And at every time you feel as if you're going up and down on a roller coaster, you come back within yourself and you feel this sweetness, this self-love towards you. And you say, everything is well. I am at peace. This feels joyous. This feels sweet. This is calming. It's as if, you are being embraced back by your self-love. And as you feel the self-love, this is where all the power comes from. That is when you get up and keep going. So everything that happens on the outside, it's causing us to go back within and say, okay, listen, check that belief, check that belief, check that belief. All right? Because what you heard on the outside is what you keep echoing within you. And so you take what you heard and you reverse it. You use the law of polarity and you say, excuse me, I'm sorry, that's not exactly what I meant. Let me change this. Let's change this around. Oh, you're telling me that? Oh God, that's what I've been thinking. Now you might not be aware of when you started thinking that way, but take it as that and say, oh no, I gotta change that. I've gotta change that because I'm the source. They're the resource or the echo. Oh, I'm the source. You assume responsibility, and responsibility is the ability to respond to the problem. You see it as a problem, you have the ability to respond. Why? Because within you there's the problem and the solution. The secret to life is always to focus on the solution. So the feedback, the echo from the outside is causing you as the source to say, I've got to change at the source. I have been focusing on the negative. Oh, I've got to focus on the positive. Is it work? Yes, it is. What's the work of going from the outside within? And always living from the inside outside. So in the process of you changing your habits of working out, of not eating certain things, of not of doing certain things, of building a routine, you need to have that image. Because once you build that image, it's going to be stronger than all these voices on the outside. So when you look at this image and you write the description down, you must read that over and over again, even though it feels like bullshit right now. Like, yeah, okay, whatever, bullshit. That's not true. We learn through repetition. So the more you hear that, your subconscious mind or your brain begins to form different neuron connections according to science. And the road that is most traveled, that's the experience you have on the outside. So which road are you traveling in your mind? What's that self-talk? You have to impose upon you with the will what you should allow the mind to think. It's not what others should impose on you. But if they're affecting us, it says that we are weak and we are not strong. And you're the source. So what do? You go back to the source and say, oh, I've got to change some things. Use the law of polarity, and everything you heard, you rebel against it. You don't react to the person, you go back and you react or you rebel against that affirmation. And you use it the opposite way. And if it took you a long time for reality to echo that back to you, right? You've been rehearsing this negative idea for so long and it's been echoed. I don't know how long it's going to take for you to reverse that affirmation, to reverse that negative idea. We know that through repetition. So how many times you would hear somebody telling you something negative? Maybe once in a while. But you hold on to it so strongly. And it's up to you. The longer and the harder you hold on to that negative idea, the more work you have to put in changing it. That it comes down to you. If you're the kind of a person that just things fall off and wash off of you, then it's easier for you to change that idea. The less importance we place on what people say, the easier it's going to become for us to change it. So the secret to life is always change, always growth, always change. Even if you hear it on the outside and it's not affecting you as bad, take it, reverse it and say, oh, thank you for telling me that. You're just telling me that at my core there's a little bit of a weakness. There's a little hole, there's a little patch I need to patch. And you take that affirmation and you know what? You can play it over and over again all throughout the day. What is life all about anyway? Why would you pay attention to anything else outside of you? Here's what I'm saying. If you hear something negative and you want to switch it back to positive, I want to ask you, do you think cooking dinner for your kids is more important than you changing your mindset? No. I want to be honest with you. It's not. Do you know why? Because if a mother is not strong within, her children have nothing to come to. So the mother needs to be strong. I'm not saying don't cook dinner for your kids. Please don't take it the wrong way. But sometimes we say, oh, no, I have no time to think of this. I've got to go and cook. Oh, no, I don't have time for this. I've got to take my kids to school. You know what? Take a sticky note and put it all over the place. And even if your kids will say that you're crazy, that's okay. Because people call you insane when you're doing the right thing. But when you're doing the wrong thing, they say that's normal. Everybody does it. And that's wrong. Just because everybody does it doesn't mean it's normal. And so I would even say record your ideal body image. And it might sound foolish. It's like, listen, I don't have time for this. Well, listen. How many times do you want to go on this roller coaster? How many times do you want to reach out to the donut? How many times do you want to do this? And how many times do you want to do that? Now, why am I saying all this? Because I care. Because I'm a human just like you. And because I get affected by my own fears or fears that come in from the outside. And then I close back in, and you know what? I sit on my bed or at the edge of my bed, and I just hold on to myself and I go, okay, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? Now, I'm not trying too hard to figure out what it's coming from, but what I know is that I need to take it and switch it and flip it. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. Changing that belief is going to be hard. Because at first you've been used to saying it and so often the negative. Now to say it positive, it feels unnatural. But it's not our first nature that is right. It's the second nature. And the second nature is the one that we create within. The one that we put work into. And the only price you need to pay to have a different life is to change the direction of your thoughts. That's the only price. And you might say, okay, so that means that I have to work out a lot. No, it does not. Look, science says you can only work 10 minutes a day and that's enough. Now science shows us more and more about ourselves. Things are not the way they used to be. Science keeps evolving, showing us that we can have, be, do, and have anything we want in an easier way, in a flow. I was thinking about this the other day, and somebody said something about overflow, having from the overflow. And I thought, well, there's a flow, and then there's an overflow. Isn't that interesting? We must be in flow. That means if an idea comes, and if it's negative, you switch it right on and you keep moving. You go on the flow. You take that and you say, okay, excuse me, no, this is what it is. You're letting go. You're moving with ease and with flow, or non-resistance. Non-resistance. And when you move in non-resistance and in flow, you are going to have from the overflow. You fill your cup by being less resistant to these negative ideas, and you change them as you hear them. You turn sadness into joy. You turn a negative affirmation into a positive affirmation. But it doesn't have to take us years or months or whatever. You do it on the spot. You've got to be like you monitor your own internal technology. You monitor your inner technology. And that's the only price you need to pay, to monitor your inner technology. And when we monitor our inner technology, who can be against that? If I am putting in the coordinates that I want, this ideal body image. Now, if you don't like it, then perhaps it's me that says I still need to perfect something. But when you know you've done all things right from within, and so it's outside, as you begin to hear people praising you and seeing the changes, then you say, oh, I've worked hard, so it seemed. Because all you did is change the mind and change the image. But look, people see the results. Now, how quickly does this happen? And I know this is only self-talk here and empowerment and inspiring in this video. But how quick things change? Well, let me tell you how quick they can change. I was sharing this on my beauty channel. There's a beauty channel where I talk about self-image only. And this is referring to who we are as women and how do we behave and how do we act. Are we comparing ourselves with others, or are we just taking cues and building an image of ourselves? But I was referring to, and it skipped right now, it missed, I don't know where I was going to go with this. I think because I looked at the time and then I thought about the other channel. I just wanted to empower you and inspire you and tell you that, how quickly things change, how quickly things change. You see, when the darkness is dark, 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 and the light begins to shine, the darker it is, the easier we can see the light. So what am I saying? If you have lived a life of negativity, of negative self-talk, of not appreciating yourself, not loving yourself, and all of a sudden you make these little shifts, these little changes, such as, I am beautiful, I am amazing, I am attractive, I am magnificent, I am sexy, I am sensual, I am whatever it is that you want to be, right? Because a desire, this is a secret, a desire says that you already are that kind of a being, you're just not manifesting it. A desire is to knock at the door and say, let it out, let it out. You are that kind of a being. But anyway, so when you replace negative affirmations with the positive, here's what's going to happen. Because you've lived a life of so much negativity, all of a sudden, when you hear, I am beautiful, oh, you are so beautiful, wow, you are so attractive, wow, you are so magnetic. All of a sudden, you catch up on that. The light goes on, right? You create that connection in the mind and you say, it's interesting because that's exactly what I thought of myself yesterday. This is how quickly things happen. Why? Because the secret to life and us being spirit or energy in a body, it quickens us. In a blinking of an eye, it quickens us to realize, wow, look, you've done that little bit of work and look how it comes out. Because we are energy being and we are here to expand and to grow, to gut up, to grow from where we're at. And it's going to be shown to us how quickly our minds are being reflected on the outside. But we have been into this habitual pattern of sitting in the negative, only focusing on the fear and worry and doubt, right? The darkness, not understanding of the power that we have within. That listen, all you have to do is change the thoughts and all of a sudden you hear this person saying it and that person saying it and you go, Well, that's interesting. Yeah, catch on to that. There's no coincidences and no failure. It's showing you the power of your thought, how you have been built in this negative, fearful pattern, and it keeps repeating itself, but all of a sudden you made a little shift, and there it is. Now, don't go around and say, oh, that only happened once. No, that's your power. It shows you the power of your thought. That's the only price you need to pay. Sometimes we don't even have to do any changes in our physical body. We make a mental change, the way we think about ourselves, and you act as if you are. People all of a sudden think that you are the greatest person that ever walked the earth. And you know what? People's words are meant to give you life. Right? It makes us feel good when we are encouraged, when we are empowered, when we are supported from the outside. It brings us life. It doesn't take away from us. It brings to us. It adds to us. So what words are you sending out about you that other people echo? Because the people, whatever they echo, is it life? Meaning, am I speaking the words of life about me? You have to understand everything is an echo. So if you hear people saying you are beautiful, you are attractive, you are magnetic, does that make you feel good? Yeah, it gives you life. So send life so you can receive life, because there's only you in the world. As you send out, it comes back in. Give and it shall be given. Ask is the putting out, and the receiving is the having it come back. The moment you put it out, it already comes back in. It's a guaranteed. Oprah said, I don't have to hurt people. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to convince anyone. I just know it's done. The moment I think and the moment I imagine, it's done. It's coming back to me. Because there's only you. People are what you might call servants. I'm not religious, but as a spiritual scientist, I want you to understand this. You're the God of your own reality, and everybody is the servant. They're serving you back on the platter what you've sent out. I'm not good. Oh, you're not good. Look at how fat you are. That's what you tell yourself. And then somebody comes and says, look how fat you are. And it hits you like a rock, like a brick, like a wall of bricks. Why? Because you hit yourself, you hurt yourself. And somebody on the outside, your words will not return unto you void. They're going to come back with fruit. So either they come back with consequences or rewards. I teach my clients and I say, okay, are you rewarding yourself right now? How much are you loving yourself right now? That's why I said, sit by the edge of the bed and love yourself and go back to the source and understand. I'm the source, they're the resource. I send it out, they bring it back. They're the servants of the Lord. I am the Lord. I am the owner of my own words. People just serve it back to me. I say it inside, and then it's being shouted from the rooftop. So understand, there's nobody outside of you. You are the leader, the CEO of your body image, self-image, relationships, business, money, and everything you want. In my business courses, I teach people and I say, it's not how hard it is to get. It's not about getting anything. It's about walking towards and collecting what's yours. It's about collecting what's yours. It's going and receiving what you heard yourself say within. You don't have to work hard for going. People use force. People feel resistance toward their desires and their dreams. Why? Because they think they have to work at it. The only work you have to do is change your thought. Because when you go into that business meeting, they're going to echo what you've talked to yourself up until you got into the meeting. You must be a winner within before you're a winner on the outside. As within, so without. So guys, I felt inspired to come in and share this with you. And say this. Is the outside world stronger than you are? Then you do not know the laws of life. You do not know who you are. You don't act according to how you feel. You act according to who you are. And who are you? You're the source and they're the resource. You're the Lord, the owner. And they're the servants and they're bringing to you what you rightfully own. And what do you own? Your own words. You feed yourself with your own words. Are they feeding you? Are they giving you life or causing you or cutting you? Your word is like a two-edged sword. So be careful when you think you cut someone, they're cutting you back. You're cutting yourself back. That's what it's saying. You go one way, it's coming back the same way. You send out love, self-love. I am this, I am that. People are going to say, wow, you are this, you are that. You are, yes I am. You are, yes I am. You are so amazing. Yes, I am amazing. I'm going to share this experience with you and then I'm going to let you go. As a mindset coach and high performance mentor, I woke up one day and I have experiences where I don't plan them. But I woke up this morning and I stretched out my hands, as we all do, right? We're stretching and waking up. And I look at the top of my hand and I said, wow, you have such a beautiful hand. And I felt as if I was all awareness, as if I was looking from outside my body at my body. And I looked up and I go, you. And the energy felt different. And then I go, yeah, I do have a beautiful hand. I realized that was not normal. You have such a beautiful hand, and I agree. When two agree, it will be done. Well, guys, guess what's happened? That day, 3 hours later, I had lunch with a photographer to set up some photo shoots for the business. As we're sitting across the table from each other, he touches this exact hand and he says, wow, you have such a beautiful hand. Now, in the moment, I took that in the wrong way, right? The conversation went into a familiar side. We began to talk about kids and life and family. And I felt as if we were becoming familiar with each other, even though we just met, from the perspective of conversation. So I immediately rejected that. I thought, okay, this is a pass on, right? He's making a move. I went home and then I said, wait a minute. What I did behind closed doors, it was echoed on the outside. When I heard, and I said it because I said it through my mouth, and I said, wow, you have such a beautiful hand. Yeah, I do have such a beautiful hand. That agreement, when two agree, it will be done. It had to be created, reflected, manifested on the outside. Shocking, huh? I know. If you've ever been to church, and no, again, I'm not religious, but I used to. I grew up in religion. If you ever go to church, and if you're going to church, please understand this is not to separate or anything. I found that I was not emotionally balanced. I couldn't understand the Bible. It was all metaphorical until I stepped out and began to search, to put things together. And I think I came to have a deeper understanding, and I have a more solid foundation now after having been mentored and coached. But as I was, I don't know where I was going with this. This is how easily we can get distracted. But what I wanted to say was that when this incident happened with the hand, right? And in the church, we were told to praise God, someone outside of us, right? You are so amazing. You are the creator of the whole world, and you created the stars, and you created the moon, and you created the whole world, and everything is beautiful. We were so disconnected, or I would say we were connecting with a power outside of ourselves, not understanding this power comes to, through, and for us. And so there were many imbalances within me because I couldn't understand, well, if you're out there, why don't you help me and fix my problem, right? Because you put me here, you're the one that creates everything. So I did not understand. I create my own reality with this power and through me, and then comes back for me. But we were always told to praise God, right? You are, you are. And every time we put this out, well, it's obvious we didn't receive anything back because there was no agreement. It was as if I was serving, I was serving someone outside of me that I did not know very well, yet I was asked to praise, but I felt as if my life is in shambles. It was such a disconnect. Like, if I'm serving such an amazing God, well, why is my life in shambles? I couldn't understand. I did not understand that this power comes to me, and it's here inside of me, all around me, but it comes to and through me. And then whatever I attach to it in the form of images and ideas and speech, it comes back for me. I am that creator. I create my own world with this power. Oh, you're the creator of the world. Yeah, I am the creator of my own reality, of my own little world. And so when I changed my perception, and when I began to realize and have these experiences, and when I said, wow, you have such a beautiful hand, this is the body of God, of the universe, right? And so I'm not praising someone out there that has no image. I'm in that image. I, with this source and energy and universe and God, I create that image within. Together we're forming this image. Only God can show you the end from the beginning, right? I'm the only God that shows you the end. And now say, now let's back up and start. Start the strategy, start the plan. But the end result is guaranteed. And so what I want to say is that you are more powerful than you realize. You have to practice and you have to test what it's like to have an image and an inner speech and see how it's projected on the outside. So you see, I'm speaking from experience. I'm not speaking from a book. I've had the textual, I've had the intellectual knowledge, but it never went into the heart or experience. Because only what goes into the heart we experience or is projected on the outside. So understand that when you praise yourself, I want you to, if you have a difficult time praising this physical body, I want you to praise that inner image. Because you and the universe, you and God, you and the source have created the image. You cannot do anything without it, with that energy. And so when you see this image and you take the time to build that inner body image, understand one thing. You're not doing it yourself, because your imagination is the laboratory or the potter's house. It's where you change and shift your own world. You create a different reality. How? Through that image. As you begin to put it together, you enter into the life Photoshop of your mind and you begin to mold it and to shape it. And even if you're not seeing it clearly, I want you to keep looking and I want you to see it clearly. You know what? If you have to speak to that body part and say, no, you, that arm, you look amazing. Look at that arm and praise yourself. Why? What you do within is going to be shouted from the rooftop. Science shows us, Dr. Joe Dispenza made a study and said 2 groups of people. One were told to exercise only in the mind, to pretend as if they're working the arm, and the other people on the outside were working the arm. Well, guess what? They both had the same results. Why? Because the brain can do what the physical body does. Here's the thing. Do you want to do the mental work or the physical work? Whatever is easy for you. But here's what I have found. What will take you 6 months to do, it takes other people only 3 days to do. When you use the mind, you become the head and not the tail. Things are done easier, faster. I did not have to wait for 3 months for somebody to tell me, wow, your hand is beautiful. Or wait, maybe a year. I don't know. It happened that very hour. So understand then, when I ask you to create this ideal body image, first of all, you're not alone. There's a power, there's an energy inside of you. You're creating that image alone. That desire of you to be someone different, it's that desire of that power for you to be different. It wants you to be whatever you want it to be. And you're not alone. That image is not playtime. It's real. So you've got to change the way you look at life. I want to share another story with you. Why I say that when you use the power of the mind, you can take 6 months of working out and you can see results in 3 days. Now, this doesn't necessarily refer to the physical body and the physical appearance, but I'm going to tell you this much. Since I've started working out on this channel, especially this year, and I don't do it every single day, here's what I've noticed. That I could work out just a few times a week, and I have the impression, and sometimes I touch my arm and I go, oh, actually it feels nice. You see, I'm beginning to acknowledge the result, even though it may not be exactly in that image. But you know what? This is what inspires me. And that's how I speed up the process, right? Remember, if you agree and you say, yeah, I am making progress. You are making progress. You are making progress. Yeah, I am making progress. And all of a sudden, you create that quantum leap, that quantum jump. You see, self-talk, inner talk is the most important in the world, because your words become flesh. Your words become flesh. Your words become exactly what you tell them to become. So, my daughter, she was 17 at the time, involved in many activities in school and at home. She's an artist. She loves politics. She not astrology, but she knows the name of the stars and the presidents and who died and what happened and who's the everything. I feel like she's a Webster dictionary on 2 legs. But she's so busy mentally that physically she's not in tune with her room. So things are everywhere. And for 6 months, I probably told her 4 or 5 times, and I would say, honey, have you cleaned your room? What if somebody comes over? Oh, you know, your friends could walk in anytime. Oh, mom. About 6 months. So I would go and visit her every other weekend. I said, wait a minute. I can't change matter with matter. I've got to change things at the source. I'm the source and she's the resource. How can I ask someone to do something? They're not going to do it. People want to change, but they don't want to be changed. Right? We talk about sales and business and all of that. So I said, I know how to do this. So then that evening I went to bed and I said, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I know to do, and as within, so without. So as I am laying in bed, I looked at her room in my mind's eye, and I open the door and I see the room as is, but that's not what I wanted. So the secret is to look at what it is you want, right? That inner vision. So I created a different image of her room. Well, how did I do that? Well, it's evident. I was looking at the shoes and the book bag on the floor. So here's what I said. I said, the floor is clean, the floor is clean, the floor is clean, right? I was giving life. Internally, I was looking at that image as is, but wanted to see something different. So I looked past the shoe, and as I began to say that, it was like a hologram. The shoe began to come in and out, until I began to see the floor, like the color of the floor. I moved to the book bag, did the same thing. It disappeared. I woke up 3 days later. I go and visit her. She waits at the door, says, Mother, I've got to show you something. We walk in the room. I go, what am I looking at? And she was upset, happy at the same time. She says, Mother, I've cleaned the room. Now you must understand, we're talking about things everywhere, but when I opened the door, I couldn't see it. It was in that moment that the light went on, and I go, oh, what? Yeah, what she couldn't do in 6 months, what I've tried to have her change a habit in 6 months, it took her only 3 days to change. Why? Because I did it at the source. I'm the source. I create my reality. I do the work. I had to change what I was looking at, the way I was looking at it. So right now you may be looking at your body and say, oh my God, you're fat and ugly. Oh my God, you're not, whatever. Right? We all have those things. Oh, look at the wrinkles. Oh, look at the tie around my waist. And I know those talks because I have them too. And you might say, well, I don't see them, right? It's not what you see, it's what I see. That's the problem. So I must change at my source. And so you do that with your body. You go internally and you talk to that body image, and you say it, and you say, wow, look at that waist. Look how toned, look how trim, look how smooth, look how tight it is, right? And you just talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. And do that a few times. Now, if you can do that during the day and take the time, like I said, you are the most important person in your world. If you can do that during the day, do that right before you fall asleep and see what happens. You see, I'm talking from experience. I'm not here to feed you platitudes like you're okay, you're fine, just keep doing what you're doing and keep at it and just keep putting force. I forced my daughter for 6 months. I turned into the bad guy because I was doing the physical. I was speaking, clean the room, but I had to speak in alignment with an image. I had to speak as if it is. The floor is clean, the floor is clean, the floor is clean, in the present tense. And I had to see that image, change the image. You are toned, you are toned, you are beautiful. Your skin is glowing. Your eyes are glistening. Your skin is so smooth and so soft. Your abs are so toned. Wow, look at those abs. And begin to define them, right? And you see in front of you abs. And you're like, oh, look at those abs. Wow, I could see them. Or better yet, look down and say, wow, look at these abs. And try to, as your present picture of you with a tie around your waist stares you in the face and it speaks louder, whose voice are you listening? The voice of the present circumstance or the voice of that ideal image? So press through, push through, break through. Look at those abs. Wow, they're toned, they're lean, they're cut, right? Look at my thighs. Wow, I could see them. I can see them tightened up. I don't know, you see a tone, you've got a tone, you went to the beach, I don't know, you spray tan, whatever, you've got not a tone, a tan. What else? Look at those arms, right? Wow, look at those arms. Wow, look at those arms. Now, if somebody's image comes into your mind, someone else's arm, immediately switch, remove their face and be like, no, 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 I'm focusing here. It's me. Look at those arms, right? So internally, you praise yourself. You praise yourself, and then you say, yeah, I am. Wow, look at that. Yeah, I am like that. I am like that. The floor is clean. Wow, look at the floor. Yeah, the floor is clean. The floor is clean. The floor is clean. You see the picture and you speak in alignment with the picture. Mind, body, and soul work together. You're using the mind to create the image, or the soul, because the soul is images, and you speak in alignment with that. That's your power, that's your authority. Authority is in the tongue, the power is in unity. Now, if you come into your power and authority and you begin to waver, it's okay. Come back to the core, come back to the center. Do this over and over again. This is the only exercise you have to do. And then when you come on the mat, you're like, oh, okay, great, let's do this. Let's do this, because I know where this is leading me. That goal is me. It's who I am. I don't act according to how I feel. I act according to who I am. And who are you? You're going to begin to only see that picture. And guess what? Life is projected. You see that picture in the mirror one day. Because you don't see life through the physical eyes. You see life through the brain or the inner image. One day you are going to look at yourself in the mirror, and what you saw within, you're going to see outside. That's the law. It's law. Law of perpetual transmutation. What you hold in your consciousness, in your brain, that's what Tony Robbins said. What you hold in your consciousness, that image that you hold in your consciousness, it will become reality. So understand that what I'm sharing with you here, what we do in mindset and high performance coaching, we're touching every area of our lives. So I created this channel with the purpose to change my ideal body image. To create those quantum leaps in my life. I am over 40. And by 50, I have an idea. And I say by 50, but I want that goal to be sooner and faster. Why? Because it's proof. What you can be done in 6 months, it can be done in 3 days. What you think is going to take you a year to lose weight, it might take you 2 weeks. My friend Cynthia, she lost 75 pounds in 3 months just by doing this process. So know that we have power over circumstances. The idea is the key to freedom. The key to freedom is in knowing who you are, this power and authority that you have. Now, if I have touched too much, I don't know if you hold any religious background. I don't know if you're, understand this. You have to have two schools of thought to look at, science and theology. This is not about putting boundaries on ourselves and say, I'm faithful to my religion. You want to defend a God that we're actually all making one God. You cannot separate yourself and defend a God. You're not here to defend someone. You are here to experience what it's like to be in connection with that God, with that universe, with that power. And we all have it. If we didn't have it, we would be dead, right? When the spirit leaves, the body goes to dust. It's the same power. It's the same energy. There's not two different energies. I kill and I make alive. It's that same power that does it. Through this tongue, you can kill and destroy your life, or you can prosper it and give it life. And so understand, the law of polarity says there's always going to be evil and good. Otherwise, we wouldn't know the difference. And we've known enough of the bad. Let's shift, use the law of polarity and say, if there's a problem, there's got to be a solution. If I've been working at this for 6 months, there's got to be an easier way. This is the way. As within, what you see and speak within, you're going to see and say on the outside. I'm sure that probably when I walked in my daughter's room, the first thing I said, wow, the floor is clean. I don't remember. Walk in this alignment. Stay still. Know who you are. You're this alignment. And if you're not in alignment and you're divided, come back into alignment. Okay, great. I have to let this go. Come back into alignment. Stay still. feel the sweetness, feel the joy, and from that moment move. I need 5 minutes, I've got to go and take care of me. You just told me something's going on with me. Hold on, let me get back, let me control myself. I'll come out of the room in 10 minutes. Once your attitude changes, everybody's attitude changes, right? When mama's not happy, nobody's happy. Yeah, when your energy is wrong, when you're divided within, the whole house is chaotic. You fix yourself within, the whole house is in harmony. And we're not talking about just mama here, we're talking about everybody. But see, you as a nurturer, as a woman, you affect the atmosphere in your life. Men are not eager to know themselves and change. Their ego is bigger than ours. And so what we need to understand is that our children depend on us. It is our responsibility to instill in them this power and authority that they have. They don't have to compete, they don't have to compare. They're creators already at the core. They can create these images. So when your child goes into his imagination, let him. Because the school immediately will say, sorry, excuse me, no, you can't do it. To be an adult, that means we are adulterous already. We commit adultery. Every time you look on the outside and you agree with someone else's opinion of you and is negative, you commit adultery against this image. That's what adult is. We're comparing ourselves with others. I'm giving you more credit, I'm making you more beautiful, I praise you, I'm actually a procrastinator. So what do? We live an adulterous life. We're unfaithful to this image. So if you're unfaithful to this image, you're called an adulterous person. So understand the self-image, self-confidence, self-worth, it's all in the tongue, it's all in the image. Okay? So you know how far you are from this image. You know if you've deviated from the image, if you never created it, if you just underestimated this power of self-talk, of life in general, and you're just focusing on working out and doing all this because everybody's doing it. Nobody exists outside of you. Let them be. You be the person that you are. Everyone is going to come into this knowing. There's no coincidences and no failures. So if you've watched this video all the way to the end, you are a very special person. You have brought this into your life. You have called it. Your soul is crying for it. Take it. Cry. Jump up and down. Let it save you. Let it bring you the freedom. That's the freedom. That's the key to freedom. You guys, if you ever want to come into my business program and you're thinking about money, there's a key to freedom. That's the key. You've got it in your hand. It's this power and alignment. That's the key to freedom. What you see and hear within, you're going to hear and see outside. That's it. That's the only price you need to pay. So, I don't know what else to say. I don't think I can add anything to what I've just said already. What I would encourage you to do is to rewatch this video over and over again. Let it cover the wounds, if you have any wounds. Let it heal you. Let it embrace you. Let it love you. And understand that you are a powerful being. Nobody outside of you has this power. You have it. You only give it away when you agree with them. You must not agree with anyone. You agree with you. And when you and the outer you, with this inner you, agree. Not to what's on the outside, but to what's on the inside. It's done. As long as you agree with the outside, that's done. As long as you agree with what's inside, that's done. You decide. I put before you today life and death. The death is to continue to persist and agree with what you are today, what you look like today. That will perpetuate that. And the wages of sin is death. Sin is deviation from this image, is being unfaithful. It's being an adult. Not understanding you must be like a child and create this image and begin to fantasize and you begin to commune with it and you begin to embrace it and love it and come back to it and visit with it. Imagine if you had a friend in your house and you would never go into the room and say, hey, what's up? What happened today? That friend would be like, okay, you rejected me. Nothing's happening. I gotta go. And that image is very sensitive. It will leave you. That's why I said it has to become your cybernetic system. It's a thermostat. You must develop a relationship with you first, with that image, more than you develop a relationship with anybody on the outside. So love yourself, self-love, self-confidence, self-worth, self-image, self-body image. Self, 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 self. The word itself points to self. All right, so this is over an hour. I've had this in my heart. I needed to let it out. Now that it's out, let's do it. Let's do it. Take your notebook. It's the beginning of February 2021. Do the doing. Don't be a hearer. Be a doer. Be a doer of the word I've sent to you. Allow yourself to receive it deeper than the intellectual mind. Receive it at the heart level. Receive it with your soul. You've been longing, you've been searching, you've been trying, you've been up and down the roller coaster of dieting, of losing weight and getting it back. The reason you lose it and you bring it back is because of this emotional roller coaster. You have no picture. So create the picture, be faithful to it. If you have to meditate in the morning, if you have to take 5 minutes to meditate before you do every workout that we do, then do it. Set an intention and say, this is the workout. This is what's going to get me there. This workout or someone else's, it doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter. I'm not here to sell. I'm here to empower. And if I find something that empowers me, the more I know me, the more I know you, the more I know how to serve you. That's what life is all about, servanthood. Not about forcing you to buy something, not about having you subscribe to my channel. What for? It's like, what for? I don't need your praise. I'm a Pharisee if I need you to praise me. Walk in the middle of the temple and just ask everybody to bow before me and kiss my hand. That's a Pharisee. That's a sin. Inside, I'm a dirty vessel. I have no image, but I'm expecting you to praise me on the outside. Shame on me. I don't know my power. I'm giving you all the power. I'm giving you authority to say to me something that I have not authorized you to tell me. If it's not within me, and I hear it on the outside, I go, you're flattering me. That's not a true compliment. You're just flattering me. No. I know better. I've never said that to myself. Why would you say it to me? Right? And then you realize and you understand people's agenda. I didn't say that. Why would you say that? You can use it that way. You see how powerful we are. You're dating and you hear people say things about you in a certain way, you can immediately read them in. Now, let's not go there because this is not what this is all about. But you see the power that you have within. Once you develop it and you taste it and you see the experiences and the results, you begin to look at people and you say, you're supposed to be a reflection of me. I've never heard myself say that about me. What's your agenda? What are you trying to sell me? Right? That's why people's antennas are going up. Oh, you're trying to sell me. But this is business talk. So you can see 98% is mindset and only 2% strategy. The strategy is this lifestyle, this built-in routine that we do daily on workout. That should be only 2%. Science says you only need 7 minutes. So why are we working an hour in the morning and an hour at night? The people that work the hardest, they're the tail and not the head. They're not the example. I don't believe that they're an example. I don't believe that they're a leader. Unless you have this motivation, not pumped up thing where you go to a seminar, you're all hyped up and you go home and you're back in your depression. Why? Because nothing sustains you from inside. I admire coaches and mentors that talk about mindset more than they talk about strategy. Everyone wants to sell you their strategy everywhere. Hey, do this, jump up with this cord, and I made this cord, and that's fine. We're all creative beings, but it may not be for you. How do you know it's for you? When you align with that image, you are going to attract, remember, everything that pertains to that. Oh, I don't know if I should buy this one or I should buy that one. I don't know if I should hire this trainer or that trainer. Listen, everything you need is going to come to you. You're the Lord, you're the source. What vibrates here resonates out there. You attract. You never own anything that's not yours, that you have not created. You only own what you create. What image are you creating? Of you being healthy and wealthy and prosperous and toned and amazing and successful and radiant and glowing and sexual, not sexual, sensual, gentle, feminine, modest? I don't know. I don't know the qualities that you want to attach to you. And you're going to attract a reflection of it. People are going to see you that way, with that thing. So this comes down to, what's it worth anyway? This sounds like a lot of work. Well, I don't know. Is it worth it to stay where you're at, or put in the little work to change? Only you know what you need to change. Whatever upsets you, that needs changing. If it doesn't upset you, it doesn't need changing. That's it. So why would I force you to buy my thing? Why would I do that? You don't need it. You only receive in life that which can help you, can serve you, can make you better, to patch up those holes that you find within you. That's why we have people coming to us. Some people come to give us those things, and we immediately think of the negative. Sometimes your soul is crying out for that, and it comes in. So I bet you that everything you've heard through this video, you have longed for, you have searched for, because everybody does. Oprah said, listen, if you don't know who you are, I will not go to work tomorrow. Who am I? I'm not the one that you think I should be. I'm not the person that my partner thinks I should be. I'm not the person that my children thinks I should be. I am the person that I want to be, but I've got to know who me is. Who am I? And I've just given you who you are. Your power and authority. Take it. Use it wisely. Give yourself life. Give life, and you're going to receive it back. Throw your bread on the water, and not after many days it's going to come back to you. Your bread is the words that you feed your soul. That's the bread. Feed your soul with I am this and I am that, but see it, because the soul is the image. Mind and soul and body. So it's referring to thought, image, and speech. So think it, reason as to what affirmation you want to have, see that image of it, and say it. I talked about my daughter's room. I reasoned within me, I want to see the floor clean. I walked into the room and I kept saying it, and the image began to form and be revealed in front of me. Because at my words, things take place. It is not done by force, but it's done by this spirit and by this energy. And so understand that this has come into your life at the right time. You're in the right place. You need it. Take it. Feed on it. And use it wisely. Use it for you. 2, through, and 4. Is this for me? Is this for me? Is this for me? If I think this way, will this work for me? No. That's the only work that you must put in. Change the self. Change the speech. Change the image. Reason within you. What would I want? What would I like to receive today? Maybe a compliment. You know, I haven't eaten this in a long time. Watermelon. See the watermelon. Don't just say, I want the watermelon. That's mental knowledge. That's the mind, not the soul. You've said it in the mind, you've reasoned, you came down with a decision. Yeah, watermelon. See the watermelon. Do you see it cut on the table? Okay, can you pick up a slice? Can you bite it? Oh my God. It's so juicy and it's so sweet. And you can actually smell the watermelon. Wow. Yeah, I want a watermelon. When you say watermelon, see the picture. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. I know that from experience. You receive only what you own, what's in your soul. The riches of life is contained within the soul. If I ask you to close your eyes right now, that's dark. That's your soul. The eyes are the window to the soul. Do you see any images? You should be seeing a watermelon right now. Because you talked about it. What you think creates the image. But if you're thinking and you don't see an image, you're just throwing words in the wind. You're not throwing them on the water. They're not going to come back to you. You've got to know how to throw the word, how to scatter it on the heart to see the image. That's a seed, but the fruit will come, or the fruit or the reality will come. And so throw the seed, throw that thought with the image. The image is the fruit, the fruit. Imagine if you threw a watermelon seed. You can say, I can see a watermelon seed. Oh, a watermelon seed would taste so good. Then that's what you're going to receive. You must always see the solution or the end result, right? So you must see that ideal body image of you, not this one right now. Right now, this is just the ground. And you're planting another seed, but you're not planting the seed. The seed is referring to that image that you can't see physically yet. That's why it's called a seed. But what you see is the end result, that ideal body image. And you say, wow, look at me. Look at me. Look how amazing I look. And you can look at yourself in the mirror. Look how amazing I look. And talk about it. Why? Because you're feeding it. You're giving it life. You're giving it life. And I want to share this with you as well. I was meeting up with 3 clients one day, and I was actually heading towards their office. And I said, okay, as within, so without. How would I like these people to receive me? And so I called the person's name, and I said, so-and-so, so-and-so. And as I began to call their name, their face began to take shape in front of me. The color of their hair, the eyes, the lips, the skin, the body, not the body, just the neck. And as I began to trace the features and create the image, no, I can't see it all at once, but as I began to memorize their features and trace them as if with my consciousness, piece by piece, I knew that I've created the whole face. And then I said, when I get there, this is what you're going to do for me, this is what you're going to do for me, and this is what you're going to do for me. Now, this is the inner work. But I had to see when I said, this is what, and I said that, and I'm not going to give you the details of what it was. But when I say this, it was actually dot, 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 and I saw the image. This, I saw the image, and this, saw the image of it already being done. I walked in the office, and about half an hour later, this person does this, this, this. You might say, oh no, that's mind control. No, that's me giving myself what I want. How would I like to be loved? How would I like to be received? How would I like to be welcomed? What would give me life? That's self-love. And in the end, they benefited because what I have shared with them, it benefited their business. So you see, it's a win-win. There's never I win and everybody loses. But when you lose, everybody's a loser. It's just an echo. So when you win, they have to win by law. As within, so without. So if you win, they win. This is powerful. I've shared so many secrets with you that people pay me thousands of dollars. My hourly rate is $2,500. So understand, and I'm talking to me, that no matter what you struggle with, when you enter into this power and you see these quantum leaps in your life, physical body or relationships or business or money, whatever it is, when you get there and you create these quantum leaps, people are going to come to you and say, what have you been doing? Wait a minute. It was only last week. What? You lost what? 10 pounds? What did you do? Nothing. Nothing. I've just changed inside. I've decided to make some changes within. Wait a minute, what? It will take some time. You got to sit in the chair and I've got to tell you this story and all of this. People are not going to believe you. People are not going to believe you that you've just created your reality just by imagining it. As within, so without. As in heaven, so on earth. Let thy will be done on earth here as it is in heaven. What's that will? What's that desire? What do you hold on with your will? What image are you holding on with your will? Remember we talked about the will. Are you willing to hold on to that image? Are you lacking focus by being distracted, or you just keep focusing on that image? And give it all you have got, because that's your savior, that image. Without a vision, you're going to perish. You're going to lose yourself in the details of this life. You don't act according to how you feel. You will act according to who you are, that image. So, I've inspired, I've expired, I've perspired. But I think I've given you the best I've got. And I wanted to give you this with proof. I wanted to give you this with examples. You can take them and break it down like a Rubik's Cube. Take this formula, use it in every area of your life. But mainly, let's focus on the working out, because I know women love to look good and feel good. Okay, so now I've been teaching you how to look good, feel good, where the power is, where the authority is. You've got it all, baby. You don't need anyone. You're it. You're it. Okay, so use it for you. 2, 3, and 4. The law says it itself. You can't step outside of that. Okay? So, thanks for being here. I appreciate all of you. Like, share, subscribe. And I may be adding my links to my business profile, to other pages where if you need any help outside the physical workout, then you can reach out to me. But other than that, I want you to stick with the workout. And even though we haven't done it, I'm actually do a video right after this, and I'm not going to talk. I don't know what sticks with you. What routine? What do you find easy to do? And when I'm saying easy, I'm talking about effortless. Some of the exercises that you've been doing, maybe all throughout your life, and some of them stood out for you. Just do those. As you can see me doing certain things, I've actually have seen like my legs beginning to take a different shape. I would get out of the shower, look in the mirror, and I'm like, that shape of the leg kind of changed. My arm, it just changed a little bit. And it's amazing to see the results and praise it, because whatever you give attention to, whatever you praise gets appraised, right? In value. And so it becomes that, all right? You are, oh wow, look at that arm. You look good, arm, you look good. Like, yeah, I do look good, don't I? Self-talk, right? You agree. And the arm goes, okay, let me show you this. Do you think this is it? I'll show you what I can do. Something like that. All right, so thank you again for being here. Appreciate all of you. Bye.